Today, we're going to discuss homeostasis. We'll start with a discussion of a homeostatic mechanism and its parts, and conclude with a comparison of negative and positive feedback. Homeostasis means maintaining a stable internal condition. All organisms, from cells to bacteria to plants to animals to humans, have to maintain their internal environment. All organisms have specific needs for pH, oxygenation, electrolytes, temperature, and we must have systems in place to maintain that environment. A homeostatic mechanism begins with a stimulus. In this example on the right, the body is too hot. Our temperature is above 37 degrees Celsius. This information is measured by sensors, also called receptors. These are usually connected to nerves that can then transmit the information to the brain. So here, nerve cells in our skin can measure that extreme temperature. The control center, typically the brain, receives this information. The control center has a set point, the normal range of values that need to be maintained. Since the temperature is too high, the brain is going to send out a message to start the cooling process. This is using effectors. Effectors are muscles or glands that can perform an action to help return the body to the normal range. In this case, sweat glands are going to start cooling the body. The response then is that the sweat causes increased heat loss and the body cools. This cycle will continue to bring the body back into the normal range. This same process would happen if the body temperature was too cold. The receptors would measure that and send the information to the control center. This time, the control center would activate different effectors. For example, the muscles that cause shivering to increase the body heat. There are two types of feedback in homeostasis, negative and positive. We just discussed a negative feedback loop in our discussion of body temperature. No matter whether the temperature is too hot or too cold, we're trying to return to the set point, and that is called negative feedback. Not because it's bad or we always need to go lower, but because we are returning to the 0 point or the normal point. It is the most common feedback. Almost everything in our body runs on negative feedback, like blood sugar, oxygen, electrolytes. Everything needs to return to normal if it's too high or too low. Positive feedback, on the other hand, moves farther away from the set point instead of returning to it. This is the least common in our bodies. There are two good examples of this, though: blood clotting and childbirth. Typically, you don't want your blood to clot, but if you get a cut, you do. Therefore, in that circumstance, the blood clotting will increase until the clot is formed and then return to normal. Typically, you don't want to have labor contractions, but in childbirth, you do. So the contractions will increase until the baby is born and then return to the normal, not contracting state. In these examples, positive feedback ends in an event, a blood clot being formed, a child being born, whereas in negative feedback, the cycle is continuous and you're always having to monitor those conditions. I hope this video has helped you learn a little more about homeostatic mechanisms. Study hard, learn lots, and thanks for watching.